Even after acquiring Noah Hannafin, we had heard rumblings that Vegas might not be done and they might be looking at another big fish. It was kind of a mystery of who it was going to be, and now we know exactly why they waited till the last minute of the trade deadline. They've acquired Tomas Hertl from the San Jose Sharks. Now on the surface, it makes sense. Okay, San Jose's rebuilding, Hertl's an aging piece, it makes sense they'd want to get assets for him. He's probably a pending UFA or close to it, right? That's where this gets wild. That was true 2 years ago, but he signed an 8-year extension with San Jose, and that's a deal that runs until 2030, so he's locked in with Vegas here. That's where things get even more murky, because we know that Vegas is up against the cap. Mark Stone is on LTIR right now. They just got Noah Hannafin, who's in need of an extension. Hertl makes over $8.1 million a season until 2030. The other thing with him is he's recovering from a knee injury now that required surgery, so maybe he doesn't play for a while at least. This team just won't stop pulling the trigger on massive trades. A lot of times unexpected ones. Yes, there were whispers about Noah Hannafin in Vegas, but for the most part, it was Tampa Bay Lightning, it was Florida Panthers. They swoop in and grab him, and now Hertl basically out of nowhere. What else can you say about this team and this franchise at this point? I mean, I know hockey Twitter is going to blow up with this news. A lot of people are not happy with Vegas and how they keep doing this. There's also a good chance Vegas could be a wild card team this year. I mean, they could start game 1 in Vancouver. They have not been winning a lot lately. Could you imagine if they slip out of the playoffs after making these big moves? Anthony Mantha, Noah Hannafin, now Tomas Hertl. I don't think it'll happen. I think ultimately they will be there, but you look at how they played last night at home against Vancouver. It wasn't too pretty. This trade is also really interesting from a San Jose perspective. I mean, they're retaining 17% for 6 years on that Hertl contract that they signed, again, less than 2 years ago. They receive a 2025 first round pick. You knew there was going to be a first in there. Forward prospect David Edstrom. He's only 19 and was the last guy picked in the first round of this most recent draft. In exchange, Vegas gets Hertl, and somehow they got 2 third-round picks out of San Jose as well. Initially, I thought those 2 third-round picks were on the San Jose side of the ledger, which to me would have changed a lot of stuff, especially for a rebuilding team. Getting a first-round pick and 2 mid-round picks would have been great, even with the 17% retention. But now seeing that the 2 third-round picks are on the Vegas side, I know 17% may not seem like a lot, but for 6 years, and keeping in mind it takes up one of the very few and very valuable retention spots that every team has, and that spot will be taken up until 2030, they must like that David Edstrom kid a lot, because first-round picks are very valuable, but that's a lot to take on. Also, another big part of this, Elliot Friedman just tweeted that Hertl is expected to be back during the regular season. Also, because Vegas gave San Jose their 2025 first-round pick in this trade, that means Calgary will get their 2026 first-round pick in the Noah Hannafin trade. Hertl did have to waive his no-move clause to make this trade go through. Of course, he said yes. He's obviously a very good impact player that if Vegas has during the regular season will definitely help them to make sure they can actually secure a playoff spot, and of course in the playoffs themselves. Vegas just got even scarier down the middle. You've got Eichel, Hertl, Carlson, Chandler Stevenson can play center and do a really good job. Nicolas Roy is there. This is a really big move, and on the San Jose side of things, when you're a rebuilding team, getting a first-round pick is always a good thing, and a young prospect who's also a former first-round pick who they clearly value very highly. But man, the hoops that Greer and the Sharks had to jump through to get this done, it's strange. I know it's because Hertl's 30, he has an injury history, and he's locked up long-term with big money, but man, they were willing to take on a lot of risk, including giving up valuable draft capital, which for a rebuilding team is like gold, in order to get rid of this player right now. Maybe Edstrom is a star in the making, and that first-round pick ends up turning out great, but for right now, that part is definitely a little bit of a head-scratcher. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is Vegas ever going to have a first-round pick of their own play for them, or are they just not going to need it? It's been basically pure trade capital for them ever since they entered the league. Let me know what you think. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. You're awesome.